Okay, I've had the requests, so here it is. This is my video about the AutoGlym Polar range. So first things first, what is the Polar range? Well, it's three products, as you see here. First up we have Polar Blast, that's a snow foam. There's Polar Wash, that's a shampoo. And no points for guessing what Polar Seal is. It's a sealant. Now, none of this particularly makes you want to go, ooh! I mean, everyone makes snow foams, everyone makes shampoos, and almost everyone makes some form of sealant. So what makes these different to the rest? Well, a couple of things. One, AutoGlym have always made products which they're easy to use. Anybody can pick them up, use them, get good results. There's no special tools required, no special skills. Here in this range, they are specifying that you should use something specific, which is interesting. The other is that that specific thing is going to be used through the entire process. What I'm talking about is a pressure washer and a snow foam lance. Now, your pressure washer may come with some sort of snow foaming nozzle lance bottle thing. Hopefully there'll be a couple of pictures appearing right here. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can buy your own. I've got one here. One of these will set you back, well, less than £20. We'll get you one of these. Just make sure you pick up the one that has the right connection for your pressure washer. But that's the interesting thing about this. This range is all designed to be applied with a pressure washer and one of these foamers through the entire process. Normally, when it comes to pressure washers, you generally use it at the beginning to hose off the car and give it a pre-rinse, and then at the end to rinse off everything and blast off any dirt that's left over. Here they are specifying, saying, use all of these with your pressure washer through the whole process. That is interesting, so let's look a little bit closer into each of the individual products. So, this is Polar Blast, this is the snow foam. Now, this is a pre-wash product. If you don't know what a pre-wash is, there'll be a video popping up somewhere here. But basically, it's designed to cling to your car's paint and soften it, soak it. It's got some detergent in it, so it's going to start to eat a bit at the dirt, making it easier to remove. This is actually the oldest product. It was out last year, and it used to have a blue label here, but they decided to integrate it as part of their entire Polar range, so it has this nice Aurora Borealis kind of colours. So according to the bottle, you need 100 millilitres of product in your snow foam bottle and 500 millilitres of water. That should be enough to cover the average car with your snow foam, so we're going to look at that in just a minute. Then we're going to talk about the next product. So next is Polar Wash. This is a shampoo. Now, everybody makes a shampoo, right? I mean, what's not to know about a shampoo? Well, you could go ahead and use a bucket with this if you wanted to, but the idea is that you use this in the pressure washer's foam nozzle. So the amount for this is, well, they say no stronger than a 50-50 solution, and 250 millilitres of mixed solution should be enough to cover the average size car. So that's 125 mils of this and 125 mils of water. It is interesting because most shampoos you'll put in a bucket and a wash mitt and dunk and rinse and move on, but this product is designed to be applied directly to the car and then you wash the car. That is really interesting. I don't know anyone else who's doing that at the moment. I mean, I know there are people out there who like doing that. They like to spray a shampoo on their car and work it from there. But this is the first manufacturer that I'm aware of that states that that's how you should use it. So that's really interesting. Next product, Polar Seal. This is a sealant. Now, according to this, 40 millilitres, which is only 4 capfuls of this, and 200 millilitres of water. That's not a lot. That's a fairly decent concentration. They do warn you that there is no benefit to using any more than 40 millilitres, as over application could compromise the finish. So again, we've seen products where you spray onto the car and then rinse them off or dry them off, but again, this is different because it's applied by the pressure washer. There are very few products out there that are applied via this method. So yeah, interesting. We're going to give this a try as well, all through the same snow foam lance. I will point out, I will be making sure that the bottle is completely empty and rinsed out before applying the new product. Just be aware of that. Don't mix up your products because you may compromise the way the products work. So once you've filled up your snow foam bottle, lance, whatever you want to call it, you're ready to apply to your car. Now I haven't pre-rinsed the car like I normally would. I want to see how good the snow foam is at removing dirt even when it's dry. Plus, being that it's dry, it might cling just that little bit better than if it was wet, because it might have a stronger likelihood of slipping off the paint. So it's up to you which one you want to do. Some people prefer each one. It's up to you. Anyway, when you're applying it, they do say on the bottle, make sure you apply from the bottom up. Now, I don't mean in straight lines up the way. Work along the car lengthways. So work along line, then up, and work along line, overlapping just a little bit, and then finish at the top. Now, if it's a hot sunny day, or your panels are hot, try not to leave it for too long because you don't want the soapy suds to dry on your paint. That will just cause issues with having to remove everything again. So if it is hot and sunny, maybe just do one side of the car at a time. But today it's cold. It's sunny, but it's cold with a cold breeze. So we're going to go and give this a shot just now. So you can see the whole car is now covered in foam, and it's a decent thick foam. There's a nice enough smell, but you can see in the bottle there, I've still got loads of snow foam left. It doesn't hurt to put loads on your car, I have to say it. Perhaps this is too much for a Fiesta. Something bigger might constitute as the average car. So I could probably get away with using less snow foam and less water and a smaller amount because, yeah, I've still got loads left and it's really foamed up nice and thick. You can see it's clinging very nicely to the car. I'll bring you in for a closer shot in a second. But what it's doing is, while it's sitting, like I said before, it's eating, it's soaking, it's doing its thing on the dirt, and gravity is helping, it's pulling down. And any dirt or grit or grime that this foam is happening to work at and loosen, the foam is going to try and pull some of it away from the paint as well. And sometimes if your car is really filthy, you'll find that the foam that runs along the floor on the bottom of the car, it's going to be gritty. You're going to see dirt in it. It's going to be dirty foam, and that's great because the more you can remove now, the better it is, the safer it is for your paint when you come to the contact wash later. So I'm going to take you in closer for a view of this foam now. So here is a close-up of the foam. You can see it. Let's see if we can get some focus on there. You can see the bubbles slowly running down on the paint there, and they are doing their thing. And this is a nice thick foam actually. Let's just feel. Yeah, you can see the thickness of the foam on the car there. So now you can see it's a nice thick foam and it's doing its thing right now, and it's dwelling very nicely actually. It's sticking, and that's a good thing for me. I like a snow foam to stay on the paint for as long as possible. It's going to have a better chance of soaking and attacking any of the dirt on the car. Now when it comes to the removal process, again, remove it in the same manner that you put it on, but be a bit slower. What I'm talking about is that you want to rinse it off in lines at the bottom for a couple of reasons. One, you're going to help to see where you've rinsed. You see, that's important. You don't just want to rinse this off. You want to take advantage of the pressure of your pressure washer. You want to take advantage of the high pressure, the force of that water, not only to rinse the car, but actually to push the dirt off the paint. That's a much safer method. You want to get rid of as much dirt as possible from the car's paint. So that's why I say work in lines, because you can see the bits you've done versus the bits that you haven't. If you work at the bottom, you're only going to spray off those bits. If you work at the top, it's going to rinse everything else below it. And unless you've built up a mental map of where you're going to be working on, it could be a bit difficult. You could get lost. So that's why I would suggest you rinse from the bottom. You work probably even panel to panel if you want to, but get close and use the force that the pressure washer is giving you. Okay, so now it's time for the next step, which is washing the car. So this is going to be weird for me. I've never done this before, spraying a shampoo solution onto the car before washing it. Now I've got a rinse bucket here with my wash mitt. Now if you saw my video about what is a safe wash, you'll know I normally use 2 buckets. The 2 bucket method, one with your soapy solution, one with clean water to rinse out your wash mitt, so you're not bringing dirt back into the wash. Now this is going to be a bit weird for me. I'm going to spray the shampoo on, rinse it in here, bring it back here. I'm used to loading up the suds again, so instead I'm going to be relying on the suds and the soapy solution already on the car. It's going to be a bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one side of the car at a time rather than doing the whole thing, but I want to see how this goes. I've got my solution here. It's a 50-50 solution, so it's 125 mils of the Polar Wash and 125 mils of warm water. So at the same setting that my snow foam normally is at, we're going to give this a go, spray it onto the car and see what it looks like. To be honest, it looks exactly like the snow foam. Wasn't sure what I was expecting there, but let's give it a go and start washing the panel and see how we go. Oh, must remember, spray it on my mitt. It's my preference, you don't have to do this. I just don't want to rub the car with a dry mitt. A little bit of water on there as well. I have to admit, I quite like having the suds already on the car. I don't know, it feels like it's a slightly faster process. Not by much. I mean, normally I would wash a panel, dunk to rinse, come back for fresh soap and apply again, but it's nice that it's already on the panel. It's a decent slickness. It's not really super slick, but it's not bad. It seems to clean fine, but it sticks to the panel quite nicely. It'll be interesting to see what it's like when it comes to the rinse off, which I think I'll do now before I move on to the next stage, because I just don't want any of the suds to dry on the car. Well, honestly, I don't know what I was worried about. I mean, the suds came off cleanly enough. No issues there at all. And the panel is looking really fantastically clean at the moment. So I'm going to get cracking around the rest of the car now. So, now the car has had a contact wash, which is great. It was nice and easy. One thing I will say, I did it spray a panel at a time, then go around and wash, then go around to the next panel, spray it with shampoo, then wash. But I was rinsing after each one because of the sun, just in case it was going to dry out. That is a bit more time consuming. So if you've got the right weather for it, if you're going to be washing it in the shade, then probably best to just go around the whole car, spray the whole thing with the Polar wash, and then wash with your bucket as you go around and rinse off at the end. But it was a good enough shampoo. The panel is looking nice and clean now, every one of them. The car's looking super. I was also worried about how much shampoo I was using in the foam bottle, but there's still some left there. And I have to say, maybe a little heavy-handed, and the dial was cranked up a fair bit. So I was going for quite a thick foam, but there was still enough in there. So I think a bigger car, that amount is not bad. I think they're quite spot on. 250 ml in your bottle overall is a good amount to wash the whole car. And it was really like washing with the snow foam. There was a real similarity with the thickness of the foam, the consistency. So that was nice, that there's a similarity going on there. It stuck very well to the panels, actually. It didn't disappear. It didn't want to run off and leave you behind. There was plenty suds there to keep washing. So I'm happy enough with that. Now it's time to protect the car. Now, as you can see, it's still wet. That's why we move on to the next product. So now it's time for Polar Seal. There are many protection products out there which require you to dry your car before you apply them. There are many which allow you to apply when they're wet as well. But this is interesting because, again, it's via the pressure washer. There are not that many, to my knowledge, that apply via pressure washer. So this is going to make it quick and simple. Now, I followed the instructions. 40 milliliters of the Polar Seal in the bottle, along with about 220 milliliters of water. It says at least 200 mils of water, so I've gone just a little bit over than that, just mainly due to poor measuring technique. So the idea here is I'm just going to spray it over the whole car using the same settings as I've used on the other two products. Allow it to sit for just a minute, and then I'm going to switch over back to the standard lance and I'm going to rinse it back off. Nice and simple and easy. This is the kind of product you could use every time you're washing your car. It's going to give you a fresh protection layer. However, what's going to be interesting, or what I'm interested in finding out, is that on my bonnet, not on the rest of the car, the rest of the car has no protection, but on the bonnet, on the left side, I have AutoGlym's Ultra High Definition Wax, and on the right side, I have AutoGlym's Extra Gloss Protection, which is their sealant. So I'm going to apply this over the whole car, including that, and I'm going to have a look and see what it does, if it changes the water behavior at all. The nice thing about this product is it goes on no matter what you've got on your paint. So it could top up and refresh any other protection product you've got on your car. But we're going to give this a try now. So the car now has a layer of protection on it. It was very easy to apply. It looked a little bit snow foamy to begin with, but then soon kind of turned a bit runnier, and applied practically everywhere. The only place I didn't put too much on was the windscreen. I don't think they recommend it, just in case there's any streaking or smearing going on. But as far as the rest of the glass is concerned, the side windows, the back, everything's fine there. As you can see, it went everywhere. It's even on the wheels, so I can see that they're beading. The paint is beading up fantastically everywhere. You can see the water beading really nicely all over the roof. All the plastics, these chrome bits, everything is protected. That was a really super simple, fast way to apply a protection product. And then again, just to clear it off. Now at this point, you may want to dry your car. I would recommend that because you don't want water spots to appear. Either grab a drying towel or even go for a drive, because now that the car has been protected, it's got hydrophobic properties. Go out for a drive, get up to a decent speed, and you'll find that a lot of that water will just blow off. I did also notice a difference in the behavior of the two products I have on the bonnet, the UHD wax and the the super gloss protection. No, yeah, is that it? Yeah, I'll go with that. It definitely refreshed. It made the extra gloss protection, that's the one. It made that side a little more hydrophobic than it was before. It's a sealant and it tends to sheet water rather than make it bead up tight, whereas the wax tends to bead water. But both of them got a bit of a refresh on there, so they both still were very water repellent. So that's great. That means that any waxes or sealants get a little bit of extra protection. So it hopefully make it last that little bit longer. So far, very impressed. So, overall impressions, I actually really like this kit. It all works well. I mean, I've used the snow foam before, in between other things. I think I used it in one of my earlier videos. I liked it then, I still like it now. It's a good snow foam. It's a decent dilution ratio. So you're gonna get a decent amount of uses out of that bottle. The shampoo, I was quite surprised by that. It was actually quite an effective shampoo. It helped to lift the dirt quite nicely, especially if you're using the one bucket method like I was using to rinse off your wash mitt and come back. I think if you were to apply the entire car with the shampoo first and then work it as you go and rinse as you're going, I think it's pretty decent. It does work very nicely. Will I trade it for my regular wash routine? I don't know, that's yet to be seen. I think I was able to get around this car really quite quickly from start to finish, being all three products. And I know I was filming in between, that slowed me down. If I didn't have to do any of this camera work, I could have got around this car really pretty damn fast using this system. Then when it comes to the Polar Seal, I wasn't sure how that would work. It beads like a beast. It's really impressive for a spray-on, excuse me, rinse-off product. I've got spray-on rinse-off products. I've used them in the past. This was just an even faster method. Most of the other ones, you have to spray them on and then rinse them off, usually with a spray bottle. Using the pressure washer and the snow foam lance really allowed a large application in a fraction of the time, and then just switch over your nozzle to your spray nozzle and then rinse the car off. That's it, done. I'm very, very impressed. So I think they're really good. Apparently, according to the maths about how much product you use, if you buy all of these products and you use them in the prescribed dilution amounts, then you should start and finish all at the same time, all bottles. Even though the Polar Seal is smaller, you're using less of it. So this is a system that if you buy it once, they should all come to the end at the same time if you're using them all together. So pretty damn good. I'm impressed. Cost-wise, well, right now they're on a sale at a local place, which I will not mention their name for advertising reasons. But right now they're on a sale. Good prices, so it might be worth checking out. Thank you very much to you for watching. Thank you very much to AutoGlym for sending these for me for testing. I will use these on a few more cars and do more continuous testing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Also consider subscribing to the channel, and make sure you ring the notification bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded. I would accept and welcome any comments, questions, suggestions, any ideas, anything you've used which is similar to this, something that you like or don't like, something I've missed out that you want to see a video about, please in the comment section down below, or you can reach me on Instagram somewhere here. In the meantime, I'm going to go and take the car for a drive to dry it off. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Specky, and I'll see you in the next video. And now I'm going to do my disappearing act. Do you know, through that whole video I had the MacGyver theme tune in my head. Just can't get rid of it.